Welcome, everybody. My name is Vicki Hogarth. I am the news director at CHCO-TV. It's our local news station in Southwest New Brunswick. At CHCO-TV, we've had the honor of documenting Swallowtail's restoration from the very early stages till right up until now. And Bart Myers, he's here somewhere, even convinced us somewhere in the middle of all that to do a 5-hour telethon. So it's been an incredible journey. We've met so many friends along the way. And through it all, we've witnessed a community from far and wide come together for a shared purpose. Whether it was with donations, volunteering, or simply spreading the word, you've ensured that Swallowtail's legacy continues. Today is about not just celebrating Swallowtail, it is also about recognizing those who played a part in preserving its history and securing its future. You have truly all tended the light. And with that, I would like to introduce the Mayor of Grand Manan, Bonnie Morris. The Village of Grand Manan has been supportive since the beginning, both financially and with all of their encouragement. Under Mayor Morse's leadership, their commitment has been crucial in making today's celebrations possible. So please come forward, Bonnie.
Thanks, Vicki. I appreciate the opportunity to represent the Village of Grand Manan here today. Swallowtail Lighthouse is iconic for our community, and there's nothing quite like it as a welcome home and back to the island. But on behalf of the village, I have to say, really, we're most fortunate to say that we have such a great group of volunteers who have stepped up to the challenge of not only the ongoing operation of the lighthouse, but also to the maintenance and this enormous challenge of raising these funds to preserve Swallowtail. And we're grateful that Swallowtail and the Keeper's House are going to be preserved for generations to come. So I'm really happy to be here to thank everybody today, and thank you all for coming out. So back over to Vicki, I think, is our plan.
Next up, I would like to introduce Andrea Anderson-Mason, the MLA for Fundy the Isles St. John West. Andrea has been an incredible advocate for the restoration of Swallowtail. Not only did she secure nearly $160,000 in funding from the province, but she also played a pivotal role in promoting the project every step of the way. And we even convinced Andrea to co-host the telethon. So please come forward, Andrea.
I feel like we're tag teaming here today. Look, not only do I have these, I also have the largest font that I could find. It is my age. What a thrill, truly, it is to be here today. However, I also say this with a bit of mixed emotions because in some ways I'm also seeing this as my last official active business as my role of MLA. But what better project, what better opportunity to say it's my last official active business than seeing the renovation of Swallowtail actually get across the line. I want to begin first by thanking everyone who allowed the privilege of me to be part of this process. Because we truly are better when we do work together. It's how we get things done. And I can tell you that in my 6 years of having represented Fundy the Isles St. John West, if there is one thing that I have learned, it is that this island knows how to get things done. So on behalf of the province of New Brunswick, I extend a heartfelt congratulations on the successful completion of the renovation work of the Swallowtail Lighthouse. This iconic beacon has long stood as a symbol of our rich maritime heritage, guiding vessels of our loved ones, and welcoming visitors to our shores. The restoration of this treasured landmark would not have been possible without the tireless efforts of the volunteers, the community members, the stakeholders who came together in an extraordinary display of dedication and teamwork, and there are far too many of them here and not here for me to mention and name them all. But you know who you are. Your commitment, whether through hands-on work or fundraising, demonstrates the strength of community spirit and the power of collaboration. Thank you for preserving an essential part of our history and ensuring that this lighthouse continues to shine brightly for generations to come. Not only is a lighthouse critical infrastructure, it's also a reminder of our proud heritage and how we depend on our natural environment. It is also a reminder of the fragility of mankind, our need to care for others, and to look to the future for a plan for whatever may come. This achievement is a testament to the resilience and the unity of the people of Grand Manan, but also the province of New Brunswick as a whole. Congratulations, and once again, all the best. And again, congratulations on this very remarkable accomplishment. Thank you.
Next up, we'd like to recognize Mary Hawkins. She will be speaking for a large group of community donors who dug deep to support the project. So Mary, are you here? Oh, there you are.
Yes, I am here today to represent those hundreds of donors who gave what they could to the Tending the Light campaign out of love for Swallowtail and appreciation of its significance in their lives. My own experiences may serve to illustrate the ripple effect of one person's encounter with this majestic lighthouse. When I first came to Grand Manan, people used to ask why I moved here. My stock answer was, I saw the light. And of course that is true. Swallowtail Light is what beckons us in, welcoming us to a different way of life. Once family and friends learn that you are living on an island in the middle of the Bay of Fundy, you get a lot of visitors. And the first thing, well, maybe the second thing after the beach, that those visitors want to see is the lighthouse up close and personal. I can't tell you how many photographs I have taken of these visitors all over the Swallowtail Peninsula. Once upon a time, a movie was made here. In it, Swallowtail Light was the only place where island women and children were safe from the monsters. The men were storm-stayed on the mainland, of course. I was an extra in that movie, and I spent several nights inside the lighthouse and inside the keeper's house waiting for my scenes. Can you believe the company brought wind, rain, and fog-making equipment to Grand Manan? During my time as an extra, I met a number of islanders and summer residents. One person I chatted with was Mary McClintock. Our conversation led to thinking that our children should meet. And that led eventually to a wedding on Swallowtail with a piper standing on the rocks, piping in the bridal party. If you take that tour of the lighthouse, you can even see a photograph of the happy couple with the mother of the groom. Several years later, the bride and groom brought their baby son to Grand Manan, followed 2 years later by their daughter. These young people are now 18 and 20, and ever since they were old enough to work, they have had summer jobs at the Swallowtail Gift Shop, the Whale and Seabird Museum Shop, and the Grand Manan Art Gallery. I have no doubt that in the years to come, they will bring new friends and family to visit the island and the light that are so much a part of their lives. And on it goes. Around the time of Canada's 150th birthday, I met Norma Neves and her daughter Jennifer. They had decided that a great way to celebrate the big birthday was to make 150 trips to Swallowtail. I should explain that a trip to Swallowtail starts at the parking lot near the gift shop. We are far too old to make the trips from our homes. Norma famously says of the Swallowtail cardio workout, 54 steps down and 108 up. I joined in on a couple of those trips, and later going to Swallowtail became my main form of exercise. And we make those trips year-round. I have photographic evidence of us floundering in the snow out there in one February. As the years go by, our number of trips are decreased by various health issues, but every now and then we just have to go out there, and the call of Swallowtail wins out over ailments and sloth. We like to spend time sitting on our bench, which is the bench out behind Swallowtail, where we solve various of the world's problems. I'm sure that Ken Ingersoll thinks that Norma has him on speed dial, because if we notice any little thing amiss, or if our bench needs adjusting, Norma is on to him in a flash. Ken has learned to answer with, "Complaints department." But seriously, it is a privilege to be able to visit the lighthouse, and we are thankful that she now has a fresh coat of shingles which will last far beyond our time. As many others have done, we have shared our love of Swallowtail with family and friends, and will continue to do so as long as we are able.
We can't really talk about Swallowtail without also talking about Ken Ingersoll, the lightkeeper. And many of you, I'm sure, know him well in this room, and he will be joining us later today down at the lighthouse. But he really is the heart and soul of Swallowtail. And so it wouldn't be appropriate for us to do this without some bit of Ken in the room. So we have a video, and hopefully I can figure out how to play it.
Well, I guess briefly, Vicki, we can start with the last time I painted the tower. And I knew instinctively that it wasn't going to be painted again, because it would not hold. It wouldn't hold paint. There's so much moisture in the shingles, pushed the paint away. They don't have the old growth forest we used to have, so we're not going to get those type of shingles. It was on my mind for probably 8 years. I thought about it, but what can I do about it? The end of the day, the Coast Guard came to me. I talked to them about it, and they mentioned about this plastic siding, which I was absolutely appalled at the thought of putting plastic. And first thing I thought was vinyl siding on that beautiful tower, right? And I thought, oh my God, no. So I actually made a trip to PEI and saw a couple of lighthouses that were done there, and they were just fantastic. And it was so that got us on the right track of what we're going to use for building material. Then come the deal, how are we going to get it out there? Obviously, how are we going to fund this? There were a lot of hurdles. So, we reached out in, I believe it was August of 2022 or 2023. 2022, I think it was August when we announced. And you were there with Patrick, and we announced the unveiling of the Tending the Light project, and the people of Grand Manan, the people, not just Grand Manan, New Brunswick, really come through. We had our telethon in April, which was fantastic. And I talked to the Coast Guard, and we'd worked out a deal for the helicopter, because we knew everything had to be slung out onto the peninsula, and everything just sort of come together. I mean, yeah, I could spend hours giving you all the details, but I don't believe it's necessary. The fact is that the Coast Guard spent I can't remember exactly, but we made over 200 trips of slinging stuff on and off of the peninsula. Couldn't have done it without them, of course. Atlantic Builders came through and did a beautiful job on the tower and the decks. And the end result is standing there, proud as it can be. So it's been not quite 2 years, and it's done. you know, and so I haven't had a lot of time to fret a lot because it got done really quickly, you know, and I just sailed, just get off the ferry and we just sailed by it. And to see that with the sun shining on it. And I've had fishermen tell me, say, Ken, you might as well turn your light out because the building's so bright, you don't need the light, the white building. And that really makes me feel good. It does. It's great. There's a great deal of pride because I know that when I can't get out there anymore, that lighthouse is still going to be standing there, and the keeper's house, and the light station itself will be there. And you know, that was my big thing is to preserve it for future people. You know, for the kids that are coming up to see a part of our heritage. You know, if we never will know how many lives that lighthouse has saved in 164 years. But it'd be really nice to know. I know that, you know. So what's our beacon is still shining. And another thing, and I reiterate all the time to people that it is an active aid to navigation. The light works, the horn still works, and that's a rare thing these days. And the Coast Guard's behind it 150%. So it's just, yeah, there's a lot of pride involved. Will know how many lives that lighthouse has saved in 164 years. But it'd be really nice to know. I know that, you know. So what's our beacon is still shining. And another thing, and I reiterate all the time to people that it is an active aid to navigation. The light works, the horn still works, and that's a rare thing these days. And the Coast Guard's behind it 150%. So it's just, yeah, there's a lot of pride involved.
To know Ken is to love Ken. He's such an incredible guy. And I think part of this project, the most amazing part was just how many new friends we've made along the way. just joining on to your cause, and I feel more connected to the Grand Manan community than ever, and I feel other mainlanders feel the same way, just because of the way this community project really organically became bigger and bigger, and it's really a beautiful thing to see, and to see so many of your faces in this room. We will be recognizing some larger donors now. First is David Ogilvy, who was born and raised on Grand Manan and serves as the head of the exhibition committee at the Grand Manan Art Gallery. When the Tending the Light fundraising began on Grand Manan, David and Mary Hawkins began discussing how the gallery could support the Swallowtail restoration. The result was the gallery's Save the Light campaign. David issued invitations to artists throughout the Grand Manan community. The gallery agreed to waive the normal fee, and artists agreed to give 100% of their sale proceeds to the restoration effort. Dozens of artists responded enthusiastically and raised over $7,000 for the campaign. So David is...
Thank you. It's great to be here today. And all of us at the Grand Manan Art Gallery were so thrilled to be able to participate in the show that we called Love for the Light. And I think it was an appropriate title because all of us love the lighthouse. And it's something that we've grown up with, and it's become really a part of our lives. And it was wonderful for us to be able to help out a little bit. A couple of weeks ago at the gallery, we had a show by a Montreal photographer. His name was Maurice Dupresté. Maurice loves fog, and every photograph that he had in his exhibit had fog in it. Unfortunately for Maurice, because Grand Mananers don't particularly like fog. So he didn't have a huge number of sales. But he did one photograph that I adored. I think he captured an iconic moment in the 164-year history of the lighthouse. It's kind of like a resurrection scene. You know, it's still wrapped up in its cocoon, but about to emerge to the next phase of its long life. So I couldn't let this go, but now what am I going to do with it? I was going to hang it in my house, but no, I think it deserves to be somewhere else. I'd like to suggest that it be hung in the keeper's house as a memento of the rebirth of this structure that we all love. So here it goes.
Next up, we would like to recognize Tammy Brown, a board member with the Fundy Community Foundation. The foundation has been serving the people and communities of Southwest New Brunswick since 1993. The foundation's vision is an empowered, vibrant community, and they've been striving to improve people's quality of life since its inception. The foundation donated $7,000 to the Tending the Light campaign. Tammy, are you?
Thank you very much. And as she says, the Fundy Community Foundation is here to help improve the quality of life of Southwestern New Brunswickers. And we are a very local organization with deep roots in the community, and we are very pleased to have been part of this restoration project. Thank you.
Brian and Martha Eaton are not new to supporting worthy causes, as they spearheaded efforts to welcome Ukrainian immigrants to Grand Manan and later helped organize English classes for the newcomers. Today, they are representing the Grand Manan Rotary Club, who gave several donations to Swallowtail's restoration, totaling almost $25,000.
Hello and thank you. It's an honor to be here, and it's also an honor to have worked with Ken and also to have known Lori Murison from the beginning when they started this. The Rotary Club has indeed been, over the years, a major supporter of the lighthouse. Even before we arrived, there was a great big painting party for that siding. And since then, in the last 10 years, Rotary, the club itself, has given monetary donations, and also our offshoot, Grand Manan Rotary Win-Win. We have 13 organizations that we support throughout the year, and we've been doing this for 10 years, and pleased to say that a lot of our funds have gone to Swallowtail, and we're very pleased at the outcome, and really would like to thank the community for supporting our organization and thereby supporting Swallowtail as well. Thank you.
Shirley Gorley is the co-founder of Gap Auto in Kedgwick Ridge. Along with her late husband, Bill, Shirley has been an unwavering supporter of the Swallowtail restoration, contributing in numerous ways. Gap Auto designed the campaign logo, produced and printed the Tending the Light posters, donated funds, provided additional graphic design services, and connected the campaign to the Mackenzie Stewart Foundation, which made a significant donation. Shirley, I know you're here. I saw you.
Hi. I hate to admit that I'm one of those mainlanders who resisted for many years to come to Grand Manan. For various reasons, I never got here. And then but my eclectic and eccentric friends said, listen, you have to come to Grand Manan. We need volunteers to paint a lighthouse. Well, how many opportunities do you get to do that? So I said, sure, why not? Well, that was the beginning of it. So thanks to Bart and Dawn and Jan, I'm a volunteer, like most people are who are connected with the lighthouse. And after my first visit here and the establishment that we were going to have a fundraiser going on, I went home to my family and in a motherly, coercive way said, I have something we have to work on. And so we did. And it's great. I love Grand Manan. It's wonderful. Islanders are great. And I encourage all of the other mainlanders who resist coming here, they got to come even just for a day, and they'll fall in love with it. So thank you.
Our next speaker probably needs no introduction. It is the leader of the New Brunswick Liberal Party, Susan Holt. It means so much to us, Susan, that you are here today showing interest in the project and will be coming down to Swallowtail to see the incredible work that's done. So thank you for making the trip and thank you for being here.
Well, thank you very much. It is an honor for me to be here, and I stand in admiration of this community and of this project. I think it serves as an amazing example for the entire province of New Brunswick of how when everyone comes together, and when I say everyone, I think it's been clear today, we mean everyone, where you get leadership from community volunteers. We have Mary and more than 100 donors. We have Bart and Don and folks driving the Swallowtail Keepers Society. We have people like Ken and Lori who are there on the ground raising the issue. And then we have leadership from the local MLA who makes it a priority and advocates and secures funds. We have leadership from the mayor and the council here working to get it done in partnership with a community foundation, with an art gallery, with businesses. It's really an exceptional example of what we should all strive for, which is collaboration around projects that are of priority to a community, and priority for lots of reasons. You know, this is a lighthouse that keeps people alive. This is also a lighthouse that encapsulates the history of an island that I have to agree, like Shirley says, once you've visited it once, you fall in love. And I'm sad to say the first time I visited was about 4 years ago, but I've been coming back every year ever since because Grand Manan gets into your heart. And then you add a 164-year-old lighthouse with shingles that are 99 years old. We have pre-Confederation gem here that merits restoration. And so to see the community come together, it is a shining example of what we want and what we can be really great at as New Brunswickers, working together, everyone pitching in, doing their part to realize something that's going to benefit future generations and that's going to continue to tell the story of who we were and who we are and who we're going to be in the future. So I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to be here to congratulate you and to thank you on behalf of New Brunswickers for the leadership, Andrea and Bonnie and Bart and Don and Mary and Shirley, and look, I could go on, and Ken. There's leadership, but there's community participation. It is an example that inspires me, and I'm thrilled to be able to be here to witness it and recognize it and congratulate you all on this amazing accomplishment. If those shingles last more than 99 years, I don't know if any of us will be here to see the next restoration, and isn't that a beautiful thing? So congratulations on an exceptional project that I know will inspire all New Brunswickers and show us the way forward with collaborative communities coming together for the benefit of all. Congratulations.
Clearly, we've rehearsed this, as you can tell. I was talking about Ken before we finally get his video working, so I just want to say, to finish that thought, Ken mentioned as well the support of Coast Guard, and that's something that he talked about every time we talked about this project, is how valuable they were. So I know he mentioned them, but I promised him I would thank them again on his behalf today. So the other people that we really need to thank as well is CHCO. They have been invaluable in their support of this project with the telethon. And I've gone off Bart's notes already, so I can see him looking at me, so I'll go back to my notes. This project would not have succeeded without the support of CHCO-TV. Vicki Hogarth and Patrick Watts began producing the Saving Swallowtail Lighthouse documentary, which is shown on Bell stations across Canada. That documentary kicked off our fundraising and contributed to the success of our mail-out and the John T. Clark Family Foundation campaigns. CHCO consistently profiled our fundraising efforts in their news updates, and of course the CHCO telethon in April 2023 was a huge success. We have a deep sense of gratitude for their efforts, and I would echo that for all of the projects that we try to do on Grand Manan. So thank you to Vicki and Patrick. And
There'll be cake outside. I want to say from our part at CHCO, the moment we got a phone call that Swallowtail needed help, it was a no-brainer. Of course, we would be a part of it. It's an important part, not just of Grand Manan, that's one of the most iconic beacons and symbols of New Brunswick. Really, to me, the Maritimes, it represents everything you love about being in a small community on the East Coast. And I think that the more beautiful side of that is saving that building that represents those things. We felt those things the whole way, watching everyone from small children make donations to groups come together, whether they were nonprofits or businesses, to bring money forward to make this happen. In Ken's case, working with the Coast Guard to help out. All different levels of helping were there, and with this shared purpose. And I think in our hearts we all knew why we wanted to save it, because the past really is a way into the future, and we can't forget things that make us who we are. And it's been just a complete blessing to come out of this experience with new friends that I think will last for a lifetime, and also more values in a lot of ways. It reminds you of what's important. And so for that, I thank all of you for being in this room today, for being a part of this project, and for being a part of creating a new community around it, and reminding us that people can, even in small groups, really do something this big when we all sit down and put our heads to it. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for all you've done this past 2 years. And cake? Then cake.